In a world that's rapidly changing, the timeless wisdom of Jesus' communication, his teachings, remain a guiding light. Our journey today begins with a profound question. How did Jesus' use of parables and metaphors impact the lives of his disciples? We also learn that the art of active listening and empathetic understanding is exemplified by him. There is no one in this world that has great understanding as his. His nonverbal communication is even more powerful, a silent language that is amplified by the impact of his teachings. Now look around you and ask, how can I communicate like Jesus in a world where opinions flood the online realm? Let's discover how we can engage with the wisdom of the past to enrich our conversations in Communicate Like Jesus, today on Good Morning Pastor.
Yes, thank you kayo no sa atong opening video. And mga kapaglaw, I would like to introduce to you karon diri sa among Good Morning Pastor. Pero pastora na namo ni siya. Dr. Alevir Pido, the Education Director of South Philippine Union Conference. Doc, good morning.
Magandang umaga, Charm.
Oh, di ba? Ang ganda ng umaga natin. Mga babaeng maganda at malapit sa Panginoon. Ha?
Amen.
Nagtagalog. Doc, let's talk about Communicate Like Jesus. Yung sa paggamit ni Jesus, Doc, ang mga parables sa iyang teaching, sa iyang paghatag og advice o counsel during that time nga naa pa siya diri sa earth.
You know, ang parable man gud sa Bisaya, parabolo, no?
Oh.
These are actually very short stories nga they nga ginagamit ang earthly truth kanang nasabtan sa mga tao to uncover kanang heavenly truth nga unknown. So, gigamit yun na niyang stories. I think because he understood human nature. Kanang bitaw, he was revolutionary man good, Charm. Kanang daghan siya gipang-introduce nga bagong panghuna-huna nga contrary to the culture and tradition that time. So, what best way to introduce his insight
Is to a story?
Yeah, was always through a story nga. Even until now, no?
It still worked.
Yeah, stories are not only for little ones, for children, pati tayo. So imagine a sermon nga walay story. Di ba?
Lain, di ba? Murag lain kayo nga pulos ng murag lecture nga.
Because it speaks ka ng, there are two things kasi. When we convey, when we communicate, sometimes we give knowledge which addresses the mental kanidiri. But God, Jesus Christ, when He conveys a message, especially the hard ones, He does not only speak to the brain, He speaks through the heart. So, munay impact sa stories.
Daghan karon, Doc, nagkalain-lain nga mga stories, problems, mga trials. Ginaistorya nato sa atong mga silingan, mga barkada, mga BFF. Pero unsa ka importante, Doc, ang pareha sa illustration ni Jesus sa iyang active listening o empathetic nga pagpaminaw sa mga tao during that time?
He was really he was a good listener, and he was a good listener to kanang different kinds of people. Kanang it could be a professional, it could be a leader, it could be someone dili gani siya dapat magtigstorya with, like the Samaritan woman. So, but how did he listen and how did he empathize with people? Sometimes when we think of him as God, we think of him as detached from human nature.
But he is not.
Especially kanang the shortest memory text in the Bible, Jesus wept. I think that is very human of him. So, it's not only human, but it's really human. So, that's empathy.
Kung kita karon, we wanna be like Jesus, so kinahanglan maminaw yun ta di ay o ganang nay maghatag og problema, maminaw ta di mo empathize pud ta nila na.
Oo, usahay ka ng maminaw magud ta, Charm, nga warag nagdali pa jud ta.
Yes.
Na judgmental lang ta, sig balik-balik ni nga problema nganong di gyapon.
And I think we have to unlearn that.
Oo.
Kay like sa akong generation magud gadali mi tanan. O sa murag, okay, pagdali, next na po.
Oo.
O sa murag, wala pa kayo ni nag-exist ni mga problema karon.
Wa pag siya kahumag story siyang problema na nagkay solusyon.
Tinood. Doc, sa time ni Jesus, na siya mga non-verbal communication, unsa ni ka-importante nga kanang naa siya ginabuhat sa iyang makita nimo sa siguro sa iyang mata, sa iyang body, and then unsa pod nga ma-reflect nato sa atong life today?
Non-verbal communication for human beings is very important. In fact, we read it more than the verbal.
Correct.
Diba?
Sa mata makikita.
Oo, sa mata, sa lihok. So, tayo kasi we want alignment nga what you say should coincide with your action.
Body language.
Also, body language. So, I think Jesus Christ was very consistent. Kana lang sigurong matouch lang niyang mga tao.
Yes, grabe, no?
In fact, kanang sid-sid man lang ganin niya sa sanina. So, it was very effective. And until now, it is. Tulad ng sulti ni Dr. Olive kanina, it's really very good to interact physically in person. Kasi kana lang atong touch,
Correct.
kanang pangumusta, pagpiktik.
Kana pag ano lang
Okay ra ka.
And I remember Dr. Adil, na may experience nga dili mayo din iya lang kung yana. It's okay. It's gonna be okay. Dako ka siyang impact sa akong life.
Correct,
Pero na ako
correct.
ma-remember ang touch niya sa akong likod. Nice day, no? Nahi day siya og impact po di ay. Nga silent lang ka.
Na siguro na sa atong touch bitaw. Oo nga.
Ang warmth,
Skin to skin, ang warm.
Yeah. And I think, kinahanglan, ako dagan kong i-unlearn. Kaya naanad ko nga pag nai-istorya mo istorya po ko sa akong peace. Diba? Alright, Doc. There are a lot of young people today who are listening to you, who's been so active in commenting or maybe posting on social media or maybe saying things to anyone online, not maybe online, not physical pod. How can we communicate like Jesus?
I think communication, though it's spontaneous, it has to be coupled with consciousness. You're conscious with how you kanang project yourself even in social media. Kasi like Seventh-day Adventists or any Christian, we believe that we are actually agents of Christ. We are the body of Christ. We represent the head. So what you project on social media should be reflective who the head is.
I like
So
that.
kanang munang ako, Charm, I have to really think and rethink. For example, tama bang mag-vent ko? There was even one time nga I simply quoted a speaker. Anya kana bitang mukhang hugot kay siya, but it was not my hugot. I just like the line. Except nalimtan ako butag ka ng open and close quotation marks. So nagmukhang ako hugot. So there were a lot of friends really, are you okay? Are you okay? So I had to gitanggal jud nako siya kasi it was not
Na-trigger sila, naunsa ka.
Yes. So, munang bantayan na nato mga kaigsunan. For example, na atay i-post, i-share. Kahit ka nang i-share lang, people will really think that that's what's in your mind.
Correct.
Kaya out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaketh. So karon social media naman, out of the abundance of the heart, the finger clicketh.
O, ganahan ka.
So ana siya, bantayan na nato siya.
Ay, ganahan ka na, Doc. Tinuod yun na, Doc. Nalang kay, kung malahi bitaw siya sa imong post, regular nga mga post, para to nag-post ko, nag-PM, kumusta ka na, unsa ka na. Diba? So, mga kapaglawat, ang bantayan, no? Ang anything, usay, matintal, mga dala sa ato mga emosyon, pero dili giday ta magpadala sa ato mga emotions, and we have to communicate like Jesus.